Hey, how y'all doing today? I am Lacey G. Souldier Turner, and we're here to talk about the Hmong Freedom International Freedom Festival, right? Correct. So yes, I want
Yes.
to make sure I got that right. So
Yep, the 40th year.
yeah. So could you tell me your names, please, again?
My name is Mee Vang, and I am the president of the United Hmong family. So good to meet you, Lacey.
Nice to meet you too. And who else?
Yes, my name is Kyarii. I serve on the board of trustees this year for the event. I am the vendor and sponsorship relations.
Okay. So could you give me some backstory and history about the festival?
I could share that with you. The festival actually started as a family reunion in the late 70s. And I do remember maybe when I was 3 or 4, it was located at the Harriet Island. I just remember the cliffs. And it was just families. It was like a potluck where people brought in food. And that was during the time where there were the first Hmong settlers in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it was a reunion for other Hmongs that were resettling in Wisconsin, Iowa, and nearing states that would come and just have family because these people, my parents, when they came over, they came either through sponsors or through other programs that brought them as immigrants. And so they were all separated to whomever was sponsoring them, which church, which organization. And it was a way to bring them into St. Paul. And over the years, the last 4 decades, has really grown to from a family reunion to a full like economic booming um, opportunity where it's really helped sustain a lot of local businesses in the Twin Cities with bringing in, we still have festival goers that come all the way from California, Michigan, and the Hmong community. This July 4th event really is known as the Hmong J4th of the Hmong Olympics. And a lot of people come and compete, but more so, people still come here as a pastime and utilize it as a landmark um, to come to Minnesota during the summer.
Okay, so my question to both of you, why do you serve on the committee and why are you the president? So what made you guys want to do that?
Yeah, well, I came in very young. Well, not that young. I came in about in 2015 as a board of trustees, really just wanting to help the organization grow in its documentation and finances, and really just documenting what's happened, the history of the organization, our financial reporting, and didn't really think I was going to go into a leadership role with the organization. It was just going to spend a couple years here, really came in and grew to love the mission and vision and the people we work with, our vendors, our athletes, and just the outer community members that are non-Hmong who really come to this event and really believe that it's just a fabric of Minnesota as its own. And I'm gonna grab that real quickly while Kyarii answers.
Yes, for me, it actually started as a job. In 2016, we had a CEO who was looking for a secretary, someone to help keep their documents organized and just miscellaneous other things. So it started as a job for me, and I got really involved with it, and I thought it was really fun. And it's such a big event, and then I reflected, and it's, oh, I was a part of this. This is something that I can do. And being one of the youngest ones working on with the United Hmong family at the time, I did see that they did need our help, the youth, the help. We needed to bridge the gap and let the new individuals come in with new ideas and things like that. So I decided to join the committee for the next event, the new year. And after that, I just grew really attached to making connections with the vendors, with different, the River Center and Parks and Recs and things like that. So moving forward, it's just been really great working with everyone to make these events happy. It's great to see how many attendees come and returning faces and things like that. It's just great to know that as someone who, is, I see myself as an individual who couldn't do much, but then being able to help plan these two events and make them successful just kind of shows that, yes, I have a place here, and I have a duty, and it's kind of like my calling. So that's when I decided, after doing a couple events, I decided to become a board of trustees to help make the bigger decisions.
Okay. So I know y'all was up and moving, up and rolling. How did the pandemic affect the festival? And how did that affect y'all?
Yeah, the United Hmong family, our two programs are really just the Hmong International Freedom Festival and the Hmong New Year. And so these two events are really just our revenue. We don't receive any grants. We don't receive any other additional resources. It really is community driven that drives the organization and these two events. And so we really rely on the support of our entrepreneurs who come back every year as vendors, our spectators who come through as the admissions. And then we also rely on the performers, whether it's Hmong New Year or really specifically now our athletes who bring on this show, and people come out to support their favorite teams. And it really is a true partnership when we look at this. And sorry, what was that question again?
How did the pandemic affect you, like COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to say that it impacted us financially, putting us on hold, but more so it impacted the families that come back as vendors. I mean, when the governor put the stay-at-home order out and we closed our two events, and then later on it was, we had the opportunity to reopen, but the organization had to make a decision about leading the efforts of public safety and not hosting this event. And we received a lot of calls of vendors being unhappy because some had lost jobs because of family childcare. Some were laid off. And so they were depending on these two events as an income, and they couldn't come back, and we couldn't provide that for them. So it really hit us really hard, not just as an organization, but as a community.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see y'all back up and running.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. What type of competitions will you have there?
Yeah, for the 40th annual event here this year, we have a lot of sports. So we have volleyball, men's and women, flag football, men and women. We have topspin, and also katao, which is
a foot volley.
Yeah, yeah, as well as soccer, men and women. So lots of different things going on, as well as our newest sport that we have is called cornhole. So I know that's an up and coming sport, and a lot of teams have signed up already. So we're hoping everybody will join us this year and welcoming back everyone after having a 2-year break.
Okay. What type of vendors will be at the festival?
Yeah, so this year, a couple of individuals reached out to us and they said, have you guys ever thought of having an artist alley? And it's something that we've never thought of before, but just knowing, off of social media, Facebook and things like that, there are a lot of Hmong artists. So we decided to open up an artist alley this year and just kind of test out the water. So we have that, and then we have our returning vendors, which are display vendors, could be churches, businesses, elected officials that want to come meet their candidates or the voters and whatnot. We have merchandise people who are going to be selling, hats, clothes, jewelry. And I believe we have someone who's going to be doing henna and little rice jewelries where they write your name on things like that. We have a bunch of sponsors too as well that will be out there, such as UCare and things like that, who will be giving out information, things like that regarding the health. We have our sponsor G Coop who's coming in. It's a South Korean company. as well as a bunch of food vendors, a lot of new food truck vendors as well. So, Philly steak, we have, the Thai boat noodle, fried rice, and, the curry noodles and everything like that. So just a lot of, and lemonade, things like that. A lot of returning things, but a lot of new things as well.
People love to eat, so I know they're gonna love.
Yeah, those are main
So
attractions.
what would you say, everybody, festivals go on all the time. So what would you say separates this festival from others?
I would say the biggest separation is just the reunion, the ability to reunite with the Hmong community, and not just in our state, it's actually nationwide because we have so many people come in from out of state to this event. That's what really separates this because it's been here for so long. People really look at it as, in the Hmong community at least, really look at it as the biggest Hmong event. And we also learn from other similar events that are non-Hmong that this is actually one of the larger cultural events in the Midwest too. So we are so excited to be able to receive that honor. And what really makes it a little bit different is just the amount of athleticism, amateur athleticism, the opportunities for groups that enjoy playing to come out and play and win prize monies and win trophies. And so everybody looks forward to this teams practice when they can. I mean, we have teams practicing all the way in California. This year we heard there were teams that wanted to come out from New York City, North Carolina, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Colorado. So I mean, it really attracts all sorts of teams that want to play one of those 6 sports.
Okay. Are you doing anything, I guess, safety precautions since, the mask mandate has been lifted, but are you guys doing anything as far as safety precautions that keep people safer?
Yeah, with the mask mandate lifted, we are still asking people to wear their masks at the event just to continue to maintain safe. But we have also looked at opportunities to really just encourage more hand washing as well, and putting those, we had those stations before with the toilets for hand washing, but really encouraging people to use that more often.
Okay. So let me ask y'all a little personal stuff. What inspires, y'all to do this, personally, each one of y'all, what inspires you to keep on with this festival?
Gosh, that's a very good question. What really inspires me? I think I really care about it because I grew up in Minnesota. I grew up right here in St. Paul. So this event, I grew up with this event. Whether I'm an avid goer. I think even when I was a child, I would probably miss a year or two, or but never 3 years in a row of this event. And just because it's so ingrained in me because I don't speak Hmong as well. I grew up here in the US, and this is where I get to go learn about my language, the culture and the heritage. And so it's something that I really want to maintain for future generations to come. So just a Minnesotan, really proud of the heritage here.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
What inspires you to want to be a part of the festival and keep the tradition alive?
Yeah, very similar to me. What inspires me to keep going and being on the board, even though sometimes when you want to throw in the towel, is just being with my people. Growing up, I did not have enough time to be with people who are similar to me. I was always the odd one out. And so to have these 2 events, to have this organization that's specifically, Hmong originated is really great for me because, you see all these individuals who are great actors, doctors, and things like that. You don't see a lot of Hmong people like that. But when you get to know your community, you have these events, you get to network and things like that. You get to see like, oh, we have Hmong people that are elected officials, that are doctors, that are in high positions. And it's very inspiring for me. And I want to be able to push that down to my cousins growing up, knowing that you guys have a future, you have a spot to do this. So there's an opportunity and you need to take it.
My last question, okay, for anybody who's never been or, you know, just hearing about it, why should they come out to this festival?
Why should they come out? Well, they get to definitely enjoy the food, and it's grown up. It's expanded so much that it's not just Hmong food anymore. It's all sorts of food. We're hoping that it will expand more, but you'll have your traditional Hmong sausages and food on the grill. So it's really greatly priced, and you get to meet all our vendors coming from all over. I mean, most of our vendors are not from Minnesota. And so that's something that people don't know. And the second part is people get to enjoy, if you're not into the sports, soccer, flag football, we also have music and dance happening all day long at our main stage. And so it really is, excuse me, an opportunity for just the community, Hmong and non-Hmong alike, just to come out and enjoy. It really is a great time to just be out there and meet people. And I think really we've been just so isolated in the last 2 years that people want to come out and see each other again. And every year we have thousands of people come to this event. What a great way to just come out again and see people again.
Yeah, I agree with me. The main thing and why people should come out is the vendors, especially the food. For people that like to eat, you have it all in one place. You don't have to drive to, you could just walk a couple steps and then you could try something new. And as Mee said, it really has expanded. It's not just Hmong food anymore. It's Karen food. It's Thai food. It's American food as well, donuts as well.
Yeah, hot dogs.
Yeah,
I
hot
mean,
dogs, things like that.
We see that at baseball games, but for a Hmong family, hot dog is, it's hot dog. But
Yeah.
It's something that I grew up with, being Hmong American. But my parents will probably look at hot dogs like, no, not my first choice of food.
And it's just a great opportunity to meet certain vendors that you wouldn't be able to meet. Maybe they don't have their own store, or you don't know how to look up their website and things like that. So it's good exposure for them as well.
I think you have a food truck that's Indian that's coming, right? So
I believe it's like Philly cheesesteaks and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So very new to many Hmong families that don't come out of the community.
Well, y'all have sold me if I can make it.
Yeah, we hope to see you there.
Yeah, we hope you come. I mean, all of this is really made possible by our sponsors like M150. They're coming all the way from Thailand.
Yeah.
Just to sponsor this event. So I mean, it's global.
Yeah.
It's global, and it really sets a precedence for Minnesota.
Okay, so is there anything else that y'all want to say before we go? I mean, yeah, I done touched on everything.
Yeah, Lacey, it's just so wonderful to have you reach out and want to learn about this event. I mean, we still look at it as a small family event, a small family event that has 30,000 people coming, right? That is no longer, that's no longer like just Hmong people. I mean, when we talk about this event, we no longer, we have the name Hmong International Freedom Festival, but when you look at who's coming every year, it's a different crowd. It's expanded, and it's really just so great to have our elders who don't leave their homes because their children are working all day long, be able to come out and just meet other communities. And so, I really thank you for just doing the story.
Thank y'all, and I'll let y'all know when the story will be out and everything, but I appreciate y'all for giving me your time.
Yes, thank you too.
Thank you.
All right, well, y'all have a good evening. That's all I need from you, and I will be in touch.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.